Paul, thanks for the time. Another really exciting and perhaps chaotic end to the game. The headline is Swinton have won, and you obviously must be delighted again, but clearly there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, exciting is probably a word I wouldn't use when you sat in the stands watching it. But no, do you know what? Really proud of the lads. I thought, the last 2 weeks, really, they've given a great account of themselves. To come back from behind in the last 2 games in the manner that they have, and the never say die attitude is magnificent. It shows great character, and I think good teams have that. When they fall behind, that they keep going, they keep grinding, and they have the patience and the belief in themselves, to come back and win the game. So I'm massively proud. I'm always proud of them, but I think the manner in which they've won the last 2 games has been really pleasing for me. I think I talk a lot about mindset, and I talk a lot about attitude and effort, and you can't knock that out of the last 2 games.
Perhaps outsiders have looked at the Swinton team with obviously lots of recruitment and maybe said we're a young team, a developing team, but I think the last 2 weeks have probably shown a lot of maturity, and perhaps that moniker does a disservice to the team. They've shown, as you say, plenty of character today and last week.
Yeah, 100%. I know people looked at the team before a ball was even kicked and was a little bit probably not satisfied with the experience that we had in the team, and that we was relatively young and new. But I did my homework on a lot of the players, and I knew that they could play, and I knew that one thing that we needed to do was we needed to pump the tyres up, meaning we needed to give them some belief. Even though they're young, they've got ability. That's why they're here. And this is I've said previously, this is a project. We're thinking long term with some of these lads, and but we're getting the best out of them at the minute. And as I say, when you play rugby league, you've got to have a really gritty and steel determination that when you fall behind, that you can come back, and all the young lads have got that. They've got a lot of belief, and they bring a lot of energy. That's the thing that they do bring. And sometimes I can put up with the odd error and mistake, because they are learning. It's a learning process for a lot of them, but again, their attitude's outstanding, and it's that togetherness and that connection. And I've spoke about that previously. We're building as a team, and some really good relationships and connections forming within that dressing room. And it's one of the best team unities that I've seen in rugby. So that's including my playing days and my coaching days. So yeah, I'm really happy for the lads, and again, I'm massively proud of them.
And you talk about connections and unity also amongst the players and the fans. A really good following again today, and some great scenes at the end just over our shoulder where the fans were able to celebrate with the players.
Yeah, it was great to go over to the Swinton fans and celebrate that win. And I could see a lot of excitement on the faces. And do you know what? And that's probably the best I've seen the Swinton fans celebrate that. And maybe that wins, put some belief in the fans as well, because I know that. I speak to some of the supporters, and I know there's a bit of doubt in there, but we're doing all right. And for me, I want us to perform each week. I want us to get better each week. I don't think anyone can deny that we're not doing that. I think that we are. We've you look back to the first game that I took charge against Whitehaven at Whitehaven, and where we are today. Massive improvements, massive development, and I believe that will only get better. And we've come up against a good Keighley Cougars team that, again, very similar to last week, even though they've not won a league game yet. It's not really a fair reflection of where they're at as a team, and they came with a lot of energy. They came with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of steel. We knew that we had to weather the storm, because the new coach comes in and everyone wants to impress, and they tried to do that. And we played, it says on the board in the changing room today, we play for 80 minutes. It's an 80-minute game, and we play the play, and that's exactly what we did. We give loads of energy right until the end, and we managed to come up with the 2 points. So I'm really pleased with that, not only because we've put a steely performance together, but just because we've come up against a good team today, and a lot of enthusiasm from Keighley Cougars, and we've weathered it. And they've got some big boys in the middle. Keighley, I was wincing a few times when some of our lads were having to tackle them. So yeah, it's great to get that win. Really pleased.
And we've now got a blank week next week, so an opportunity perhaps just to reflect, maybe even relax a little bit, and then get back to work.
Yeah, we'll train next week. Not giving the lads a full week off. They've not worked that hard. But yeah, we'll come in next week and we'll review it. And again, my reviewing sessions are about what do we learn from this. Where do we need to improve? I thought this week the stuff that we looked at on video from last week, we massively implemented today. I thought our defence and our goal line defence was really, really good. I thought we showed a lot of steel. So this week we'll do exactly the same, and we'll come in and we'll get better, and we'll build that connection and unity that we keep talking about. And yeah, good teams do that. They come in every single week, they try as hard as they can, they want to learn, they want to develop, and that group of players want to do that. So might give them weekend off, not decided yet.
Thanks very much, Paul. Great win. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, thank you.